Good morning. Good morning. Almost forgot to turn the mic on. I'm still getting used to this thing, as you can see. We're doing and we got some weird things going on with the. Oh yeah, this is the microphone doing that. All right. Yeah. So I probably should turn the screen off, but I got activity going on behind me. I'm sure they don't want to be on YouTube. So, anyways, good morning. How's everybody doing? Got our low boards up here, but we'll get into a couple of things. So yesterday was almost disastrous, and I know I was going to do well. Here's the deal. Well, let me get my thoughts together. I know I didn't go live, or I didn't do a video yesterday. Yes, it's been a busy week. It's one of those weeks where it's just kind of flying by, right? And yeah, so anyways, we'll get some shout outs going on in here, and yeah, we'll do our thing here. So hope everybody is doing well. It is I don't know. I seem to be not fighting as hard on the rates, but I'm also staying about a day ahead on everybody, which is good. Today's going to be a busy day. I got a lot of trucks emptying out tomorrow. I got one driver that wanted me to book something for the 31st. I'm like, I don't know if that booking that far ahead is a good idea, but I'm going to have a conversation with him about that. You got to find the right balance, right? You got to be a load ahead and maybe 2 loads ahead, but you know, when you're a new authority, the less loads you can cancel because of of a low cancellation, the better. So it just depends on the broker. That's where the broker relationships really come in handy. So if your truck does break down, or if something happens at home, you can't make that load. You know, a lot of they won't like. Well, they know that you're not full of it because face it, you got a lot of carriers being desperate right now. So what they'll do is I can do that load, and then they keep looking. There was a driver that I helped get a load, and then horrible conditions, right? And then he decided to keep looking in the same area. It's like, why are you looking in that area? Oh, we could have done this load. We could have done this load. I'm like, well, and so when he wanted me to cancel load, so I canceled the load, and now he's on his own. So I mean, it's you once you book a load, you're committed to it, right? And that's why it's important to make the right decisions in the beginning. And you're going to do loads that you don't want to do. You're going to do loads that aren't perfect. You're going to do loads that are under your cost at times. And the whole point is to keep moving, but not move so cheap that, that you go in the hole slower, but enough that you don't lose any days. That's just my opinion. I'm not the smartest, brightest person out here. So, but it's part of the game, right? And so, when I was at Schneider, there was a couple of people that would keep looking at loads after they've booked their load. It's like, no, you need to be looking out of the next area. Now, it's okay to do some research and see what's coming out of a certain area all the time. You can do that. But to sit there and keep looking for a load after you've booked one, you're living in the past. You got to, take your mistakes and move on. So, and I've been guilty of that. There was a time at Schneider that I booked a load that I thought was going to Menominee, Wisconsin. It was actually going to Menominee Falls, Michigan, because I don't know how to read. Well, that's the UP, and it was January. And so I did end up calling Schneider and canceling that load. But, beyond that, once I book a load, I'm committed. And you should be too. All right, let's do some shout outs here. see. Jason, what's up, man? Everybody check out This Tour Life. If you want to know what it's like to drive a truck for a touring company like bands and stuff like that, that's the person to subscribe to. Scott, what's up? Good morning. Mr. Charles, good morning. Max Force, hello. Cattle hauling, good morning. Big Houston, what's up? Sean, what's up, man? Let's see. Trucking for Fun, how you doing? Scott Esro Logistics, good morning. Pigtail, what's up? Gary Compton, look at you. How's it going, man? Hope all is well with you. Donnie Luke, good morning. Randy, what's up? You like my hat? That's funny. You funny. Sage, what's up, man? Jose, good morning. Excuse me. It's allergy season. That means the trees are getting ready to do their thing. So that means that my allergies are going to pop up. At Coralopolis OC, S. Schneider have to replace their pump, compressor, and oil tank on truck as I've worn them out. Wow. Coralopolis, where's that? I don't remember that. I hated the low boards yesterday, deadheaded to the house, truck maintenance. Hello from Minnesota. Good morning, Jeremy. Larry, hello from Minnesota, and soon for drivers or will be grain hauling season. Yes, grain hauling season's coming up. Post trip, what's up, man? Oh, it's Pennsylvania? Okay. Oh, so the Carlisle? That one? Been there a couple of times. Met up with a person that later became a YouTuber in IC, but then I think he stopped. He had some issues and was no longer in IC, but Mr. Berger was there quite a bit. And they knew his yellow Kenworth very well. Back when they used to work on IC trucks. So, but yeah, I mean, look, it's about mindset, right? And and are things tough right now for some people? Yeah, absolutely. But this is the nature of the beast. This is how the spot market rolls. I've been through this before, and we'll go through it again. We're at 2020 levels with volumes, and it's there's an interesting article off of Twitter that I found. I'll read it to you if you guys want. See if I can find it here. And then we'll get to the low board stuff. So if you go to my community page, which, the Snorelord OG channel, please subscribe to that so I can start putting stuff on that community page. If I got to get up to 500 subs on that one. There's a lot of health stuff that's important, but anyways, that's a different topic for a different day, for a different channel. All right. So this is from Craig Fuller. Follow him on Twitter. See if I can get this zoomed in here so I don't have to squint. Last trucking market crash was in 2019. The current market can end up worse for small truckload fleets. The crash in 19 was caused by two factors: a freight slowdown due to tariffs on Chinese imports and a surge of new fleets flooding the market. Up until that moment, we had never seen that many new fleets enter the market, 7,200 a month versus an average of 5,200 a month from 2008 to 2018. The 2019 drop in freight, I remember that because everybody was freaking out, in freight volumes wasn't significant. At the weakest moment, tender volumes registered at 4.6, drop in year after year load request, and that lasted for just a few short months, May to July. Trucking is a commodity, and anyone that has been around commodity markets understands that it doesn't take a significant change in the balance of supply and demand to create significant price swings. The market had too much capacity relative to demand. Now, I'm going to pause here. Back in 2018, A lot of YouTubers were at another company, spot market company, and they were bragging about all the money they were making. In fact, they even had a contest, 30,000 in 30 days, that kind of thing. And everybody's saying, you know what, that's a good idea. And so a lot of these, when rates get high, what do? And the hurricanes helped too. The hurricanes in 2018 helped quite a bit. And so everybody, went out and bought a truck because they were still relatively cheap. I mean, I bought this truck behind me. I bought that in 2017, got it for 60 grand for 350,000 miles. Now that same truck is about 80. And any meat in a seat, and when you have any meat in a seat and a bunch of new authorities, what happens? Well, quality of truckers goes down because no one's training, and it's all about that money. So they unplug the ELDs and all that jazz. And that was the other thing. The ELD mandate from EOBRs, happened as well. So going back to the article, removing the cost of diesel from the spot rate, here's what the market looked like in 2019. Van low was $1.51. Average $1.59, high was $1.75. Trucking companies have much higher operating costs now than they did in 19, even when removing fuel from the number. Higher variable operating costs include insurance, an additional 2 cents a mile, maintenance, 6 cents a mile, equipment, 8 cents a mile, and driver wages, 15 cents a mile. So let me get this screen up here. Make sure there's no sensitive material here. All right, share screen. So there's your cost. So let's click on that. That's what that graph looks like. Okay. So they're taking into account the additional cost per mile. All right. It's kind of like, what was $1 million worth in 1986 is equivalent to X amount, whatever it is now. It's kind of like one of those deals. All in variable costs have increased at least 31 cents a mile more for fleet operators in 2022 versus 2019. And then there's your actual 2019, $1.51, average $1.59, $1.75. 2019 adjusted for fleet cost inflation, 31 cents, $1.82, $1.90, $2.16. That's why when someone goes, hey, my costs are only $1.06 a mile or something like that, well, they're full of it because fuel alone is like 50 to 80 cents a mile, depending on how many miles you're running. The current spot rate net fuel is $1.95 a mile. On a variable cost adjusted basis, the trucking spot rates have matched 19 since May of 22. $2.16 a mile, dropping 21 cents a mile. It's likely to get worse. This peak is for trucking, with July and August being some of the weakest months. And that's traditionally, July and August tend to be, we're gearing up for the Christmas stuff. And that's the thing with dry van, a lot of it's retail driven, and not all of it, but a lot of it. At 2019, we thought it'd be a while before the new fleets entered the trucking market, but that was wrong. In fact, the number of new fleets started during COVID went viral. The average of new fleets entering trucking increased to 13,370 per month, peaking at 23,479 in May. This insane number of new entrants means that the trucking industry has a lot of companies that are brand new, have higher cost structures because they joined when the freight market was peaking. They have never experienced a downturn. So that's part of it, right? If Specter's in here, he's dealt with it. I've dealt with it. Jeff has dealt with it. Oops. Go back here. We know that freight volumes are slowing and rates are dropping. Even if the economy doesn't contract, July and August are going to be slower for trucking. It's seasonal. Late quarter late quarter 3 and 4 are also likely slow regardless of economic data. In the first half of the year, construction, auto, beverages, and produce drive the surges in trucking. In the second half, surges are caused by retail and holiday goods. I just mentioned that, right? With retailers overstocked, their shipment volumes will likely fall as they don't need to replenish. There was an article just recently about Walmart canceling billions of orders because they got too much crap. And I have a friend that works in the back of a Walmart, and they're swamped. That's why they, it's not a good deal, man. As long as the market has excess capacity, freight rates will remain depressed. It will take a substantial purge of capacity before spot market carriers can expect relief. Rachel Premack covered this topic earlier this week, the Great Purge, and I'm not going to go into that order. So there's an elephant. All right, so the rest is just the comments to that. So basically, and look, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom. I'm just telling you the storm's here, and you have a lot of people, and this is another driver of rates. Okay, if you have a $250,000 truck note, you can't afford to sit. You can't afford to go home. You can't afford to be picky. That's the reality. That's exactly what you got yourself into. If your costs are high, you have no leverage. It's as simple as that. So you better have your negotiation skills. You better have your human communication skills, because that's the only thing, that your mindset, that's going to save you. If you have poor credit and you don't have a business mindset, you're not going to make it. It's as simple as that. And I'm a realist. Look, can it be done? Absolutely. I've got several drivers that are doing very well. Not as well as they did in 2021, but they're still doing well. And when you go to a market where the loads are not in your favor, it's tough. Brokers aren't answering the calls. They're slow to answer emails. They're not negotiating. There's one broker that I hardly ever call, but I have to kind of rely on them on a couple of things. They don't negotiate. They're just like, take it or leave it, because we know that there's 10 trucks that will take this. Luckily their rate is not too bad. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. And you got people trying to move loads that pick up at 8 a.m. on Thursday, deliver at 5 p.m. on Friday for $500 for 300 miles. That's the stuff I'm seeing that they're trying to pull off. I'm also running into a lot of loads that you call, and it was supposed to have been picked up an hour ago, because they're pushing the envelope. They're pushing, realizing that their low, cheap rate isn't moving the load. So if the shipper becomes desperate to move it, then that's where the money comes out. But then now, you can't base your entire week on those kind of loads, because if they don't appear, then you're sitting for a day. Short game is done. If I was still running my truck full time, I'd be on the long stuff right now, the tween stuff, as they call it. And then a lot of loads are like, this is 1,300 miles, picks up Monday at 8 a.m., delivers, Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. So you're having to run full speed, at or above the speed limit. And what happens? Your fuel mileage goes down. So now your cost per mile goes up. Especially if you're in the mountains, heavy load, that kind of thing. And that's the world we're living in. And so these people that jumped in and bought high equipment, you're probably going to make less than a company driver at this point, because what are the big carriers doing? They're paying better than they've ever paid before. You think that's not by design? But see, that's the nature of the spot market. That's the nature of this beast. That's how it works. That's how it rolls. I encourage you to watch Freight Waves every morning, 8 o'clock. They go live, and it's a recorded show, but they have some boring interviews of people that probably don't, probably talking about something that doesn't affect you. It does affect you, but it's not directly affecting you. But then there's the favorite lanes. Those are important resources. These graphs are important resources, because when you see these graphs and you see it right in front of you. Look at this graph right here. FreightWaves National Truckload Index, line haul only. Look, looks like a seismograph, right? You got the peak highs and the peak lows, right? And look at these rates here. These are the rates, right? This is the world that you've entered. This is the volatility of trucking. And when you see it on the screen like that, it really puts things in perspective. So when you get mad at that load that you had to do for $1.80 a mile out of Salt Lake, or $1.60 out of Florida, and you had to talk them up from $1.20, that's why, right there. That's part of it. I'll get to the comments here, because I don't want to be 20 minutes behind on the comments. This is the volatility of the spot market, people. This is what you're dealing with. Outbound tender volume index. You see the different lines? Each different line is a year. And look, they follow the same patterns pretty much, right? See the dips, right? Sometimes they're up, sometimes they drop quicker. Sometimes they peak quicker. Sometimes it's gradual. That was 2020. 2020, look, we were down here and we just do. Oh, drop. Do, drop. Okay. And the big corporations, with all this information, they manipulate you and they manipulate your emotions. They manipulate the market. Too many loads coming out of California. What did they do? They switched. They switched to Seattle, and they switched to New Jersey. They switched to Charleston. They switched to Savannah. And guess what? Atlanta became one of the hottest markets in the country over California. It ain't so hot now. Why? Because everybody went down there. And whether YouTubers put it out there or not, it doesn't matter. I've got 39 people in here. I don't think that the 39 people out of 39 of you, I don't think any of you, I think maybe 10 of you are taking this information to heart. So I don't manipulate the market. The companies have access to your ELDs and the macro points and all that. They know how to deal with the market. So the cards are stacked against you. So if you're looking for a load out of let's say St. Louis, and there's only 100 loads, which St. Louis is a good market right now, by the way. And then at 2:00 in the afternoon, you see that it jumps up to 300. Well, then now you know the area of which you need to book out of St. Louis. So you can look at the trends. You can look at that, but don't sit there and look for another load after you've already booked one. All right, so let's go to load availability. This is the density map for all trailer types. So there's your general consensus. There's let's do flatbed first. 123 low board is a great board for flatbed. It's like a lot of stuff coming out of there, out of Idaho, California. Missouri's kind of weak in the flatbed world. That's interesting. And I'll get to the comments here. I promise. I promise. All right. Let's see. Let's do reefer. Now, if you're at Schneider has this kind of map as well. You guys realize that, right? It's on the website. It's not on the mobile site. I don't think it's on the app, which I don't have experience with the Schneider app. I never downloaded it. People that used it, it was slow and clunky. But the mobile website was really good, and the regular website was good, on the computer. But the only time I turned on the computer in my truck was to enter my numbers if I had some downtime or to edit a video. But this is reefer. Back and forth. That's what you want to do. Back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. That's what you want to do, right? Or back and forth. Come wintertime, though, that's going to be a bitch of a route right there. Let's look at van. Van, apply. There's van. Look at all them yellows. Not sure what's going on in Utah here, but a lot of salt, I guess, coming out of here. These cities and states are going to start preparing for road salt for winter. So a lot of that stuff's moving right now. When it comes to van, if you're hauling a lot of retail-driven items, you're probably going to have to expand a little bit. If you're hauling a lot of food and stuff, like canned goods, beverages, that's still pretty good. That's still pretty strong. I got brokers with Coke and Pepsi loads a lot, and water. Water loads are huge. But if you've got a Peterbilt 389 all decked out, those water loads are a bit too heavy for you. Or if you're a reefer, those water loads are too heavy for you because they're 45 plus usually. So there goes your fuel mileage. All right, so let's catch up on the comments here. No, it's Coralopolis, which is oh, okay. No wonder I've never heard of it. Hey, Smooth, what's up? How long will that take, Pneumatic Brit? Looks like the drop in fuel was temporary. Ease back up. Yes. Yeah, you get a temporary relief. Talking about fuel discounts and stuff. Let's go back to Daniel. Agreed. As our fuel discount just dropped, and the Saudis are looking to cut back on production, and they're hanging out with China now. That could spell trouble for a number of things, but we won't get into that. Fuel is going back up. Gotcha. The shirt and hat, but still here. Okay. We're talking about when we dealt with the down market in the docks, St. Louis. Excellent, good deal. Target has done the same with canceling orders because the warehouses are overflowing. Too many drivers out here are short-sighted. Usually, I'm booked out for the entire week when I leave on Monday. And and I predicted by watching all the warehouses pop up, I predicted that this was going to happen. You don't just suddenly go from lean manufacturing, lean management to a ton of warehousing. The vid, kind of showed everybody, like, you know what, we need to stock up. Just like, you're like, oh, I better get extra toilet paper and extra ammo and extra, food and stock up the freezer. Well, the companies are like that too. They decided we're going to open up warehouses. And that's why flatbed was so hot and heavy, because, materials to build these warehouses was through the roof, both in commercial and residential construction. Shadow Wolf, good morning. I know that we're only 10 minutes behind, but we're catching up. Crude is strong again because OPEC is threatening production cuts. They obviously don't want lower prices. Obviously, why not? They want to make money, right? And we're dependent. Look, if you're dependent on something, you are their slave. Yep, just like, Scott, the coin is flipped, right? That's the normal rate here in Florida. Jesse, running late to get here, but good morning. How you doing? Supply and demand, right? Glam, sit at the Big Orange, enjoy your roller coaster. This booby's doing pretty good. Paid off truck, click and go. Cool trucking, good morning. All right, Jason, you're probably already gone, but have a good day. God is good, 405. It's like news channel without them talking about someone getting killed. Freight Waves Live will teach you something about freight, right? Those drops are holidays. Yep. Do you guys have sonar? If not, where are you finding the... Okay, so no, sonar is way too expensive. I know that there was a batch of YouTubers that tried to get the price down. They tried to convince sonar to have a more app-friendly, single truck owner operator friendly deal, and they couldn't get it done. And so, but the beauty is they go live on YouTube every morning, and if you follow them on all the platforms, that was my Twitter feed there, that was Twitter. If you follow them on those platforms, they will they give you that information. It's kind of like watching the ag report, in the morning at 5 in the morning when no one's watching TV. So those graphs are out there. They will go over those graphs pretty much every morning. Now you got to get through the boring stuff. You got to get through their, I think I know their little song between segments, by heart. But a lot of times I have that running in the background when I'm looking at freight. And really, it's just a reflection of things that I'm already seeing, that I'm already feeling, that I'm already experiencing. And so what I do is I look at the markets that are accelerating and the markets that are decelerating. You ever worked a market, like let's say like Ohio? We went through that with Ohio this year. Ohio's always been a good market, and then all of a sudden just stopped. You're like, what the hell? Why am I struggling to find a load within 100 miles of Columbus, Ohio that's not a bunch of crap? Well, because the market dropped. So you have to look at this. Okay, what caused that? Well, farmers aren't harvesting, or they're not planting yet, so they're in the trucks. Or a lot of carriers to offset the cost of fuel have gone to short haul platforms. A lot of spot market carriers went to paying company drivers percentage instead of mileage. So you're not having to run, a drive for 3,000 miles a week and pay them 70 cents a mile. You're going to go out of business if you do that, because fuel alone can be 60 to 70 cents a mile. Especially, because look, long haul, Wisconsin, Washington, California to Florida, Florida to California. Are you going to get a rate out of Florida to go to California? Not enough to compensate a driver paying 70 cents a mile. And if you do the short game, well, they're going to lose a day. They're only going to get about 1,500, 2,000 miles a week. Are they going to stay with you if they do that? So a lot of the short haul disappeared. because a lot of you know what, these fuel prices suck. So I mean, that's what I did in 2020. Long haul wasn't paying worth the darn, so I just did the short runs because fuel was cheap. Now that strategy is not working, and the bigger carriers that have 10, 20 trucks, I've gobbled a lot of that up. Hey, I've got 10 trucks and 10 trailers, or I've got 10 trucks and 20 trailers. Let's do a drop and hook. I lost a lot of my short haul to the local carriers here taking that because they were able to. They had pencil pushers that were able to see that, you know what, we need to buy trailers because that's where the money's going to be. Chuck for Life, good morning. Red Diesel, good morning to you, sir. I carry those water loads. They're heavy for sure. Shannon, good morning. Glad to see you back at it. Here comes Fuel Bill up again. Yep. I'm in Springfield, Missouri, about to head to Dale's APU tomorrow to get a tri-back installed. Good deal. I'm glad you're going to Dale's and not the other place. Tell Dale I said hi. Checking in from the alignment shop, still waiting in line since yesterday. Holy crap. One of the best alignment shops is MD Alignment in Kansas City. That guy is the alignment whisperer. Paul, what's up? Good morning from Marshall, Illinois. Heading to Michigan for delivery tomorrow. Thanks for keeping me rolling. There you go. You're welcome, Paul. Happy to do it. But those water and soda and food loads have to be careful because grocery warehouses will cancel because of space or long layovers due to space. That is happening a lot. Now, I had a reefer driver that went into Costco. He was literally unloaded in 45 minutes. But that's Costco. They got their act together. Walmart's supply chain is kind of struggling right now. Has been for quite a while. And a lot of Walmart loads are getting canceled. Or they got long transit times. Like you pick it up on Monday and it delivers Thursday morning and it's only 1,000 miles. So boom, there's your revenue limitations. It's a horrible. Now, if you have extra trailers, you can make that work. You can drop the trailer, go do something else. I've done that. I've actually done that in the spot market. I've dropped my trailer, did some power only for one company while a load sat in my trailer for all weekend, and then I delivered it Monday morning. It was able to stay moving all weekend. So what would have been a $500 week turned into a $2,000 week. Weekend. I'm sorry, week, not week. Weekend. Learning to hunt, archery, fishing, etc. I think there's no better time now to do this. World War III, Rick. That's a little bit cataclysmic there, Rick. But yes, that was one of the reasons why. I did that. I wanted to learn how to hunt, and I actually enjoyed it. So, Big Houston gets paid percentage. Yeah, there you go, Scott. Scott puts it up there. Chad Hone, MD Alignment, Kansas City, Missouri. There's none better. Except for my guy in Springfield. I got a good guy in Springfield that does a good job. What is really sad is we are not even close to hitting the bottom of these rates. I really believe we could see them drop another 20% across the board on national rates. That's what the article on Twitter was explaining, Stuart. So if you need to refinance equipment, get your bills down or sell that piece of equipment that's sitting in the garage, that toy that's in the garage that you don't really need, you might need to. KT, what's up? I call you KT for short because I don't want to butcher your name. Old school, new school. I'm picking up at a Walmart load today, delivered tomorrow, Kansas to Wisconsin. That's good lane there. So let me do this for a second here. Let's look at load ratios. We looked at 123 load board. By the way, if you want a good discount, 48065 is my code on the 123 load board. Gives you a month free and $20 off for the premium service, which allows you to use all the tools, which I haven't gotten into because I don't want this to be a long video. But we'll do a few videos demonstrating the 123 load board. I do use it. If you're new to the spot market, or you're just curious about how you could do in the spot market. I have a friend that was basically doing virtual running to see if he can make money, and he was able to do that with the 123 low board. So, anyways, let's look at load ratios for on the DAT, right? Share, because we use all the tools, right? All right, so this is for van. VS stands for van standard and van specialized. Van specialized could mean E-Trax, team, hazmat, which I don't see a whole lot of hazmat on the spot market. Usually, if you do, it's usually Landstar or TQL that's got that. And the brokers will tell you anything to get you to haul that hazmat load that you don't think you can haul. Oh no, you can haul that. You're fine. All right, so Alabama is not good. Arizona not good. California is flipping a little bit. 22.39 in, 24.95 out. Connecticut no, DC no, Delaware no, Florida 20. Look at this. Look at Florida. 23.55 in and 9.22 out. That's why you can't get a good rate out of Florida. 17.78 in and 12.15 out for Georgia. Georgia was flipped. Let's see, 14.84 in, 24.39. Illinois is strong. Indiana's strong. Kentucky's about even. Louisiana's not too bad. This is for Van. Maryland's even Steven. Maine isn't too bad. You also got to account for these low numbers here, right? This it's only 179 loads moving in and out of Maine. Missouri's pretty even right now. Mississippi not so great now. Mississippi and Texas have been dealing with a lot of rain. If you got a load going to Dallas, you better make sure you look at Google Maps to see what roads are closed, because yesterday they had vehicles underwater on the interstate. So if you got a load going to Dallas, Mississippi, Louisiana, they are dealing with a lot of rain right now. And you also got hurricane season. So keep an eye on the weather. Look at Jersey, 680 in, 1310 out. So there's more loads coming out of New Jersey than there are the entire state of New Mexico. Look at that. New Mexico, 51 coming out. Don't go to New Mexico. It's beautiful there. I love the desert. But if you take a load into New Mexico, you better have a plan out, or you better get your money in, because you're probably going to head to El Paso to get a load. And if you see Texas, isn't that great? So let's look at that, for example, for a second here. Yeah, Texas is 37.86 going in and 25.88 going out. Look at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's strong. Steve Berger, if you're watching, you're in pretty good shape there. Ohio's pretty good. Let's look at North Carolina. Evidently, I don't know how to spell. There we go. 1043 in and 858 out. So North Carolina has kind of changed a little bit. Charlotte was a good market. Still is. But the short game literally just stopped. At least on the pay. I mean, loads that were paying $800, they're not going above $500. You might get them to $600, but only because if your carrier kicks butt. Let's see. Virginia looks pretty good. Vermont, not bad. Washington is mixed bag. 519 in, 357 out. Now that's going to change with reefer. So let's look at reefer numbers. Wisconsin, of course, is good. So we go to our deal here. Now there's hot market maps on the higher levels of that, but I use that extra money on the 123 load board because at the end of the day, the load ratios is probably a good indicator of you're going to struggle or not. So this is reefer. Look at these low numbers. California 1027 in, 1046 out. So California is still pretty even with reefer, but look at that load count. Out of the entire state of California, there's only 1,046 loads. Guess what? You might be sitting. There's more loads coming out of Illinois than there are California. That should tell you something. Now, a lot of the Midwest is processed food, frozen meat, hot dogs. So load ratios, but look at those volumes. That's the thing that should. But look at Missouri. Then we'll go down to Wisconsin. Washington. Washington's good. Why? Apples. Virginia's good. Utah's not. Utah's a little bit more even on the reefer, so that's good. Look at Texas though. 1639 in, 773 out. Jersey 336 in, 883 out. So New York is a good spot. So and what I find is a lot of this is coincides with the 123 as far as like load ratios. Volumes are different, of course, because more people post on that. But if you're a broker, contact 123, post on there. I believe it's free. Rates might go down 20% more, but not with me chasing them. Truck shortages is well on its way. Going to Fort Worth this morning, heading to Georgia and back. I like a clean windshield. There you go, Spooby. Yeah, you're definitely going to get it. Florida has definitely gotten tough the last couple of weeks. Yeah, and look, I mean, it's if you got a carrier based in Florida, you know, you just you know how to adjust, right? You don't sit in Miami waiting for that $3 a mile because you ain't going to get it. Or if you do, it's going to be 100 miles all day, $300, that kind of deal. So, anyways, that's it, man. I think I need to get to work. My phones are lighting up, and I've got trucks to move today. So, I appreciate everybody coming in. Any other comments or questions before I leave? Because we got about 10 more minutes, and then I got to end it. If not, we will end this video. I appreciate everybody coming in. Like I said, if you want access to the tools on 123 48065 is my code. And you've got the density list, and then you've got let's see, search loads, find loads. There's a load. There's a search. Blakely, Georgia to Elgin, Illinois. So it gives you search results. This is for van, so you click on a load, and there's Perry, Georgia to Chicago. Okay, all right, so let's talk about this one, right? Let's talk about this one. This is College Park, Georgia to Moni, Illinois. They got the rate posted at $1,200. That's $1.68 a mile. They know that Illinois is a hot market, and they know that Georgia is a sad market. So that's why they're going to post that rate. But here's the beauty. Here's something you need to know. When they post a rate that low, it's designed to do two things. It's designed that if you're somebody that wants to negotiate a lot higher, you're not even going to call. They want that. They don't want you to call. Okay. And they're hoping that, and then so that's one. The other one is they want your emotions there. They want you angry. They want you to think that you got to be desperate. It's a mental manipulation. That's part of the game. That's what I deal with. I mean, I used to do it for one truck. Now I'm doing it for several. And so you have to be mentally fit to play this game. It's just how it is. So if you look at the average rate, you don't start there on negotiating. But you also got to look at the time, 715 miles. That's going to be a 2-day transit, unless they want that overnight, which, if you're a super solo team or something like that, you can get that done. Then your rate per day is pretty good, and your rate per mile, but I still wouldn't do that for 1,200. I would not take this load. Now, if it was my only option and I had to get to Illinois, what are you going to do? Who has the leverage? So don't let posted rates get to you. I see it all the time on Facebook. Look at what they're trying to move this for. No, yeah, they're trying to move it for, but they're not going to. And just because that load disappears doesn't mean they booked it for that rate. Like, let's say I call this broker, which I've got experience with DSV. Hey, I need about $2,000 on that. They're like, well, we negotiate. They might come down to like 18, right? Now I'm what, 20, 30% higher than the 1,200 that they posted. Now, if they're not desperate to move it, they're gonna be like, well, sucks to be you. We're 1,200 firm. And I'm sure you've heard that a lot. I'm sure a lot of you have heard, no, we're firm on this. No negotiating. I could probably come up $50. That's all I got in it. I'm taking a loss if I give you $50. I'm taking a loss by taking this dang load. How about that? The same things that we use for them. Like, for example, when everybody's like, oh, fuel's high, I need, an extra $300, or whatever. What did they do? They used that to their advantage by saying, you know what? They either told you two things. They either said, I don't care about your fuel costs. That's not my problem. Or when fuel became cheaper, when fuel prices went down, what did they do? Well, fuel's cheaper. I don't have to give you that extra $300 now. It goes both ways. So it's a part of the game, right? So don't let those posted rates fool you. Don't let them manipulate your emotions. I mean, it works. I mean, there are times when I'm not even going to bother. I know that brokerage. I know they are actually trying to move that for that number. I ain't even dealing with it. And so what I find is that where I lose my leverage is if a driver says, hey, I need to be exactly here on this exact day. Any port in the store, man. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So don't let your emotions get the best of you. And trust me, I've got like this punching bag thing out in the back porch here. I've used it a few times. The calm Steve that you guys know, that I can get angry. Trust me. And this is what you deal with, right? So look at this. They're posting this, and here's another manipulation, right? They've got it for 1341, an odd number. Okay, an odd number. So it makes you think that they're maximizing what they could possibly give you. Did you know that there was a brokerage that told me that on Fridays they have an odd number contest that they try to move for every agent that can move a load for an odd number, they get a reward or a point or something. There's like a contest in the office. They're manipulating your mind, your truck for their entertainment. Okay? A lot of brokers do that. That is a manipulation. And that's where you get that odd number on the average rate. So, keep that in mind. This is the game that you sign up for. If you're in the spot market, this is what you are dealing with. Anyways, you can do, you can check the status of a load. You can do load documents. And what they're hoping is that you're so sick of negotiating with brokers that you're just going to take this, that you're just going to book this, hit the book now, and that you're going to take it because you can't talk to brokers and they get that rate. There's your profit calculator. So on that load, you'd profit 74 cents a mile. Well, that $605. And you can add additional costs. Like if you know what your additional costs are, add that up, put it in there, and you'll know, right? You can so, and then of course you can check the credit. Wow, look at their credit score, 57. Yeah. So you got a credit rating of 57, 42 days to pay, and they're trying to move this low for 1341. Avoid. And a new person may not know that. So this load I wouldn't even call on. Because if you're an owner operator that doesn't factor, that's a huge risk. 57 credit score. If you go in with the 570 credit score to go get a brand new car, they're going to laugh at you and point you to the $25 a week lot. You can go there. They'll give you a loan. They'll give you a $8,000 car for 20 grand. And it's experience that makes you learn these things. You might learn it on YouTube if you're paying attention. You might learn it on the Twitters and the Facebooks. But usually Twitter and Facebook is just a bunch of people yelling at each other. And YouTube for that matter. Skipping the load I've been doing for months because Florida's horrible. Have a great day, Scott. Everybody's already exited because I said I was leaving. Make time for a nice walk today. There you go. That's some good advice, Shannon. We're getting the depression no matter what. Cool trucking. You think this slump could last another year or two? I see truckers who are great at negotiating rates on that board who are thinking of becoming a company driver. I don't know, about a year. Usually the cycles, January is going to be interesting. So, the tail of the tape is November. Well, I mean, partially because of the elections, but also because of by then we're going to know what our economy is doing. You got rumors of war, happening, and you've got, we're spread thin, guys. We're spread thin on two fronts, and we're physically and mentally weak as a nation. Go to a crowded situation. Tell me how many healthy people you see. How many pop-up clinics for mental health have popped up? About as many as kidney dialysis and sleep clinics. You think that won't have a factor in what we're dealing with? We're going to see things that we have not seen in our nation for a long time. Now, if you're a business owner, you got to deal with that. Now, I don't see it going 2 years, but I could see it, 8 to 9 months maybe. But if you got your costs under control, you got your mental fitness, your physical fitness, and your financial fitness, you're probably going to be okay. And if you aren't there, work on it. That's the beauty of this market. Look, this market will make you strong. You have to look at it differently. This market will make you a great negotiator. This market will help you smell the BS from a mile away, like this load that's posted here. And coming in on a down market is what made me stronger. And dealing with the down market is what's made me stronger. And if you lose your butt, if you have a truck breakdown that takes you out and you got to be a company driver for a couple of years, there's nothing wrong with that. I hate the term just a company driver because you know what? Company drivers are important. In some ways, they're they're probably happier people, you know. But this market will make you strong. And so, 4 years from now, like, oh yeah, I remember 2022. It really sucked. Yeah, but I got through it. I agree, Tyrannus. Truck for Life, $1.91 from PA to California. Do not go all the way to California from Pennsylvania. Your long haul is paying lower. You're better off to get a load from Pennsylvania to Arizona, make more money, and then short hop, take a hit from Arizona to California. That's how it works. You can call me and I'll explain it to you. I'm almost glad I've been down for this money. I'm of the belief when a load goes from to and non-major cities, add the deadhead miles to the nearest major city for pickup and after delivery average rate per mile plus fuel. This is possible leverage. It is. Demoralization is a big part of the current narrative. Absolutely, SSD. It's time to reopen the asylums. It is. It really is. Mental health facilities are a great investment opportunity. Just saying. Right. Look, there was a picture. I saved it. I don't know if it'll pop up on the StreamYard here or the. Let me share this picture. This is going to kind of put things in perspective, people. All right. Let me get this email up here. And I want you to really look at a bigger picture. We're now no longer talking about the spot market. We're talking about manipulation of your mental mind. Okay? Come on, email. There it is. Internet's being slow today. All right, I'm going to share this screen, and this is going to blow your mind, okay? This is why you got to pay attention. All right? Promoters of high-carb diets funded by corporate interests. Food. There's all your food companies. Now, I want you to look at healthcare, okay? All these healthcare companies right here. Let me zoom in. Now, 2 years ago or 4 years ago, you should have invested in any of these companies on the stock market. The asterisk denotes pharmaceutical company that manufactures cardiovascular and or diabetic medications, medical devices, or diagnostic equipment. And so when you look at these companies that created the thing that was going around, if you invested in these companies early, you made a lot of money. Like, like all of Congress, both sides of the coin. We are slaves. Eating healthy is rebellion. Being aware that they're not out for your best interests. My previous comment is based on experience. Just yesterday, I booked the 2-pick 1-drop flatbed load based on miles and time. I never looked at any lane average. Carrier and customer agreed to my rate. There you go. Yes, I agree. I'm getting stronger every day. I started 6 months ago on almost the worst market. I'm still feeling great. Full for the hardships that's putting me through. There you go. Gratitude for the hardships, because you know it's making you stronger, and that's how you're going to survive, right? Anyways, guys, we're going to end this video. I appreciate everybody for coming in. I appreciate the members, and I appreciate the super chats and all that jazz. Remember 48065 on the 123 low board, and if you want to contribute to the channel, you can do that. And then there's my Teespring store if you want a shirt with the cool Snorelord logo, because that's what us narcissists do, is we have logos of our name and we sell shirts. It's awesome. It's another stream of income for me because I've sold like 5 shirts, and I appreciate everybody that's bought one. And I also have a special gift for the members. So if you're a member and you email me, I'll hook you up with a couple of things. So at any rate, look, is it tough right now? Absolutely. So have all the tools at your disposal, and strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Until next time, peace.